Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank each of you for being here. Excellent testimony. Mr. Cecino, your example, your service, and that of your son, truly inspiring. And I can't thank you enough for what you've done for this country and the example that you've set for the rest of us. And Ms. Jaslow, you just absolutely knocked it out of the park. Amazing, effective, fierce, powerful, and it's going to be very effective. So great job. Awesome. I want to join my friend, Mr. Kaufman of Colorado, in advocating for those veterans with other than honorable discharges at a time that, conservatively speaking, we know 20 veterans today will take their own lives. And I want to join his effort and his bill, and I ask that he and others join ours, which would go a step beyond emergency services and ensure that every other than honorable discharge veteran who needs mental health care help gets it proactively, preventively, in addition to when there's an emergency. And I think we want to prevent those emergency situations and ensure that we reduce veteran suicide. And so this Honor Our Commitment Act that I introduced this morning with Chris Murphy and Mr. Bost, bipartisan, bicameral bill, will help us do that. And on Mr. Gober's point, I love what you had to say about the budget. And budgets be damned. Let's do the right thing for those who have served this country and put their lives on the line. I've introduced a bill, also bipartisan, with Mr. Young, that would force us to pay for war as we fight it. We know that the post 9/11 wars have been put on the national credit card and are a big part of the $20 trillion that we have in debt. And I think that's also why it takes us 40 years to recognize Agent Orange conditions as presumptive conditions in the VA, why 25 years later we haven't recognized those conditions connected to the Gulf War, and for the chemical burn pits and the exposures that post 9/11 veterans have faced. We haven't really begun the research, the care, and meeting our commitments and obligations. So our bill raises resources and revenues from the American people who have not served. So those exempted from paying into this Veterans Trust Fund that can only be used to care for veterans. It's about $22 billion a year that it would raise along our current trajectory. Those exempted from paying into it are service members and veterans, those who have served this country. For the 99% of America that hasn't served post 9/11 and hasn't served in those other wars, we're going to make sure that we're paying our part so that we never have to question, beg, borrow, or steal to ensure that we fulfill our commitment and our obligation to each and every single veteran. So I thank each of you again for raising these very important issues and look forward to working with you to get these things done. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.